The orphan who built an $8 billion empire on stolen time. The mind-blowing true story of Rolex. Before you check the time on your phone again, consider this. That device in your pocket may be smart, but it isn't backed by a century of innovation, hardship, and one of the greatest business stories ever told. We all know Rolex. It's the universal symbol of success, worn by presidents, celebrities, athletes, and that one uncle who never misses a chance to show it off. But here's the surprising part. The story behind the famous crown isn't one of privilege or inherited wealth. It's the story of an orphaned teenager who lost almost everything and went on to build one of the most iconic luxury brands the world has ever seen. It is a story that began with a devastating tragedy, a stolen fortune, and an orphaned 12-year-old who decided that good enough simply wasn't going to cut it. It's time to unwind the incredible history of the definitive luxury brand and the man who taught the world to wear its heart and its time on its sleeve. The boy who had nothing but time. Let's go back to Kulmbach, Germany in the late 19th century. On March 22, 1881, Hans Wilsdorf was born into a comfortable middle-class family that ran an iron goods business passed down through generations. Life was stable, until it wasn't. By the time he was a child, tragedy struck twice. First, his mother died in 1992, then just a year later, his father passed away too. At just 12 years old, Hans Wilsdorf was suddenly an orphan. What followed didn't make things easier. His uncles took custody of him and his siblings, sold off the family business, and effectively erased their inheritance. The children were then sent to a strict boarding school in Bavaria, where Hans struggled deeply. He felt like an outsider, was bullied, and had to deal with grief, isolation, and loss all at once. But instead of breaking, Hans adapted. He poured his energy into academics, excelling in mathematics and mastering French and English. Over time, the pain that could have destroyed him instead shaped his discipline and independence. Looking back, he later admitted that this difficult upbringing forced him into self-reliance early in life, something that ultimately became one of the foundations of his success. The Swiss connection and the pocket watch grind. As school ended, Hans realized he needed a new direction beyond Germany. His curiosity was sparked by a Swiss classmate who often spoke about La Chaux de Fonds, the center of watchmaking world, and the idea stayed with him. At 19, he moved to Geneva and worked for a pearl exporting company. Although the job didn't involve creating products, he noticed how profitable luxury distribution alone could be, his first real lesson in how high-end industries operate. Soon after, a school friend offered him a role at Cuno Corton in La Chaux de Fonds. Even though it paid less, Hans followed his instincts and joined in 1900 as a clerk and English correspondent. There, he spent his days winding and testing hundreds of pocket watches, unknowingly gaining hands-on mastery of watch mechanics and precision engineering. That experience became a crucial foundation for everything he would later build: London calling, love, and a risky handshake. After 2 years at Cuno Corton, Hans returned to Germany for military service. At 22, instead of going back to Switzerland, he moved to London, the hub of global commerce. There, he joined another high-quality watch company in a sales-focused role and helped expand its customer base and revenue. But beyond his job, his ambition to build something of his own kept growing, and he spent his free time studying the watch industry. During this period, he also met Florence Frances May Crotty, who later became his wife. The breakthrough came when he confided in his brother-in-law, Alfred James Davis, about his dream of starting a watch business but lacking capital. Alfred believed in him and agreed to invest. In 1905, they founded Wilsdorf and Davis Limited, the first step toward what would eventually become Rolex, specializing in the impossible. Wilsdorf and Davis Limited started with a simple model. They sourced reliable Swiss watch movements and placed them into quality cases for resale, working closely with Swiss manufacturer Hermann Agler to supply movements from Switzerland to England. However, Hans was not satisfied with the status quo. He disliked the dominance of pocket watches, which were bulky and inconvenient, while wristwatches were dismissed as unreliable and mostly seen as women's accessories due to their smaller, less precise mechanisms. That industry belief didn't convince him. In 1914, he boldly predicted that wristwatches would eventually replace pocket watches entirely. Determined to prove it, he spent the following years traveling across Europe, studying watchmakers and refining his understanding of precision engineering to build durable, accurate wristwatches for everyday use. Combos, kings, and a name born in Geneva. By 1908, Wilsdorf's focus on quality was paying off, and his company was growing rapidly in England. However, he felt the name Wilsdorf and Davis Ltd. lacked the elegance needed for a global luxury brand. He wanted something short, simple, and memorable that could fit neatly on a watch style and work in any language. After experimenting with many combinations, he created the name Rolex, which he found refined and powerful. He registered it as a trademark in 1908. As Rolex gained recognition for high-quality wristwatches, World War I broke out. While many companies struggled, Rolex grew stronger, as World War I proved wristwatches were far more practical than pocket watches for soldiers in combat. This led to widespread military adoption and boosted Rolex's reputation for reliability. By 1914, the company had expanded significantly, employed dozens of staff, and earned major certifications for precision from Switzerland and the Kew Observatory in London, establishing Rolex as a trusted global name. The Great Escape and the revolutionary Oyster case. In 1914, Wilsdorf faced serious challenges as Britain imposed a 33% export tax and World War I intensified anti-German sentiment, making his London-based business increasingly difficult to sustain. Despite already building the Rolex identity, his German name and branding became a liability. To protect the company, he relocated to neutral Switzerland, officially renaming it the Rolex Watch Corporation Ltd. in 1915, with the headquarters moving to Geneva by 1919. He later registered the iconic 5-point crown logo in 1925. With stability restored, Hans focused on innovation, aiming to create a fully sealed watch case resistant to dust, water, heat, and cold. This vision led to the 1926 launch of the Rolex Oyster, the world's first waterproof wristwatch. However, he knew invention alone wasn't enough. He needed a powerful story to prove it, so he waited for the perfect moment to introduce it to the world. Swimming across the channel on a string. In 1927, Wilsdorf got his big marketing breakthrough after discovering Mercedes Glietzi's attempt to swim across the 20.5-mile English Channel. He convinced her to wear the Rolex Oyster during the challenge, hanging it around her neck so it would be fully exposed to water and weather. After more than 10 hours in freezing conditions, Glietzi didn't complete the swim, but the watch survived perfectly and kept accurate time. That result alone created massive public interest. Wilsdorf quickly turned it into a global marketing campaign, showcasing Rolex watches in fish bowls and using bold advertisements featuring public figures. The strategy worked, and Rolex gained worldwide attention. Soon, the brand was linked to extreme achievements, including Everest expeditions in 1933 and Sir Malcolm Campbell's land speed record in 1935, where the watches performed flawlessly under extreme conditions on Earth. Self-winding dreams and World War II woes. In 1931, Rolex introduced the Oyster Perpetual, a major innovation as the first waterproof self-winding wristwatch. It eliminated the need for constant manual winding and achieved a breakthrough in automatic movement technology that watchmakers had chased for centuries. Despite this success, Wilsdorf still faced challenges due to lingering prejudice against his German name in key markets like Britain, France, and the United States. World War II further worsened global trade conditions and disrupted exports. In 1944, he suffered a personal loss with the death of his wife, which led him to establish the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation in her memory. He later transferred full ownership of Rolex to the foundation, ensuring the company would remain independent. As a result, Rolex is not publicly traded or privately sold. Its profits are managed through the foundation, which reinvests in the business and supports charitable causes, preserving its long-term stability and autonomy. The date, the deep sea, and the diamond legacy. After World War II ended, Rolex experienced explosive growth. In 1946 alone, the company sold its 50,000th certified chronometer, and just 1 year later, that number doubled to 100,000, an unprecedented surge that reflected how quickly the brand was dominating the watch world. This success was driven by major innovations, starting with the 1945 Datejust, the first waterproof self-winding wristwatch to display the date on the dial. About a decade later, Rolex introduced the Day Date, which added the full day of the week alongside the date, a design that remains iconic today. In the 1950s, Rolex continued its streak of breakthroughs, most notably with the 1953 Submariner. This was the first true deep-diving waterproof wristwatch capable of reaching depths of 100 meters, and it went on to define the modern standard for diving watches for decades, the Orphan's undying seconds. Hans Wilsdorf passed away in 1960, leaving behind an extraordinary legacy. He had begun life as an orphan, losing both parents and his inheritance before the age of 13, yet went on to build one of the most iconic brands in history. After his death, Rolex gradually shifted its identity from a precision tool watchmaker to a symbol of luxury and exclusivity, a transition that proved highly successful. In 1985, the brand further reinforced its reputation for quality by adopting 904L steel, a highly durable and expensive material that still contributes to its premium image today. Today, Rolex stands as the most recognizable watch brand in the world, born from the vision of one orphaned boy who refused to accept limits. Hans Wilsdorf's journey cemented him as one of the most influential figures in industrial history, with a legacy that lives on in every Rolex worn around the world. Ultimately, his story is a reminder that determination can outlast circumstance, and that if you master your time, you can shape history itself.